Welcome to the Rise and Ride Show, the podcast with me, Katy Jacks from Align and Advance, equine Reiki practitioner and rider confidence coach. This is your space for honest conversations around rider confidence, mindset, horses, healing and personal growth, helping you feel calmer and more connected, more confident, both in and out of the saddle. If you enjoy this podcast, I'd be so grateful if you could subscribe and leave a review, because it genuinely helps more lovely, heart-led equestrians find our community and feel supported on their journey too. Thank you for being here. Now let's get into today's episode. Hi, welcome back to the Rise and Ride Show. Today we're going to be diving into one of my favourite topics, and it is the power of small wins when it comes to building riding confidence. If you've ever felt like you're not progressing fast enough, or that you should be braver or further on in your journey by now, this is for you. Because here's the truth. Moving forward slowly is still moving forward. In fact, it is the safest and most sustainable way to build real confidence, real lasting confidence in the saddle. So we'll talk about why big leaps can actually shock your brain and trigger fear, and how small, consistent steps can help you create new neural pathways that tell your body that you are actually safe. So if you'd love a little bit of extra support with this, actually, I've created a free download. It's a ride tracker and daily routine. Because if you've been listening to this podcast for a while, you'll know that I bang on all the time about tracking your rides, about actually writing down how you felt and what you did and how you got on with it, because there is nothing like looking back over a tracker or a journal, or however you want to write it down, like just take a notebook to the yard or put it in your car if you want. But if you actually write these things down, looking back over it 3 months later, when you are having a low day and you feel like you haven't made any progress, you will discover that you really have. You've made loads of progress. So it's really, really good if you can have like a consistent routine and track how you feel on each ride and what you're doing, because it will really, really help you with your mindset when you're having some really rough days. So yeah, you can download my one in the show notes, or you can just write it in a book. But also, if you're just going to write it down in the book, create yourself a routine as well, like a pre-ride routine, because that will just help your brain click in to going, oh, we're riding now, but that's okay, it's safe. Right, let's get into it. Anyway, I think one of the biggest myths in riding is that confidence comes from doing something really big and brave all at once. Like, oh, she's so confident, she just jumped that like 90 cross-country course. Most people that you see jumping something incredible or going out and doing something wonderful, they generally have built that up over time. They didn't just get on a horse and do that straight away. So we see other riders like jumping higher, cantering out confidently, and we think that we should be doing that too. But here's the thing, like your brain does not work like that. When you push too far, too fast, your brain goes into protection mode, because that is what keeps us alive. So it kind of goes like, hold on, I'm feeling unsafe, can we just stop? And that's when your fear kicks in. So instead of forcing yourself to take massive leaps, what actually builds confidence is showing your brain over and over again consistently in small little steps that you are safe. And that's where small wins come in. So every time you have a calm ride, every time you breathe through a moment of tension, every time you finish a session feeling proud of yourself, proud of one tiny little thing that you did, you're literally rewiring your brain. So you're creating new neural pathways. It's called like neuroplasticity. I should be able to say that in my job, sorry. you're creating new neural pathways that say, I can do this, I'm okay, I'm safe. And that's what you need to do. That's where lasting confidence comes in. And the magic is that those small wins all start to stack up, and one day you'll look back at your tracker, because you're going to write it down, and realise that you're doing things that used to scare you. And it will just feel completely natural eventually. So it's exactly why I created the ride routine and tracker, daily ride routine and tracker, and it will just help you notice and help you celebrate those small wins, because when you track them, you see your progress. And there's like a saying that what gets measured gets improved. So when you're writing it down, it will also help you to go, no, I am making progress and I am going to continue to push forward. So it kind of like gives a double whammy effect there, really. It kind of gives you a bit more motivation to keep pushing forward, even though you're doing it a little bit at a time. So you can set one little goal for each ride, and then reflect on what went well. And note how your body felt, how your mind felt, how you felt even writing that goal down if you had that, if you did that beforehand. And it's such a simple habit, but it's really, really powerful. So next time you ride, don't focus on the big leap. Like if the thing that you're looking to do right now is go out hacking on your own again because something has happened in the past and you don't feel confident doing that, don't aim for like a 3-hour hack. Aim for walking out of the drive, walking up to the end of the road or up to the end of the field or the track, whatever you have around your yard, and then while you still feel good, turning back. Even though you kind of think, I think I could do a little bit more, turn back. And then like your brain will be like, yes, this was amazing. I'm going to like put that in the memory bank. And then each time you can do a little bit more. So that is how confidence is really built, really quietly, one ride at a time. So I've seen it play out so many times in my own riding and with others. But like when it brought it home for me was when we got Toby. I completely lost my confidence. And I'd been a really capable, confident rider beforehand, but everything felt completely different with him. I'd had a long break, I had 2 kids, my body was a bit achy and older. And yeah, everything was very, very different. But I wanted to get back to where I was. I wanted to get back doing all the things that I used to love doing. I was a little bit of I loved cross country. I loved going for a gallop. A little bit of a speedy rider, let's just say. I did do dressage because I had to for eventing, but I wasn't very good at it. But I wanted to get back to doing all those things. And every time I tried to even do a little tiny thing, I felt really nervous and unsure. So I was really frustrated with myself, and I just kept thinking, this isn't me, and now I can't ride, and oh my God. And I should be able to do this. But the truth was my brain and body just didn't feel safe yet, and me and Toby hadn't connected properly. So instead of pushing through, I decided to slow it right down and went back to basics. And we started with poles on the floors, focused on staying calm, breathing, finishing each ride proud of one little thing. And then gradually I added like a little height to those poles. And just one step at a time, my confidence started to come back. And not because I forced it, but because really slowly and safely I built it up. We did the same thing when we moved yards. So, things started to get better with Toby when we were at our old yard. And then we moved to a different yard, and then I was a bit more aware then. And so took things a lot more slowly. So we went out walking with him instead, and did a lot of like groundwork in the arena and things like that before we got back on. And then lo and behold, at this new yard, we had a much smoother transition with him back into his proper work, which was amazing. So like looking back now, I realise that the turning point was when I kind of went, okay, I know I should be able to do this, but I can't, and I'm going to admit that. So I'm going to take it right back. But I'm still going to do it consistently, and then just build up that trust. So that experience kind of really reminded me that confidence isn't something that you suddenly wake up with one day, because I've already had it. Like before I started my journey with Toby, I was a confident rider, I assumed. But I lost it, and now it's back. So it's something that you build one calm ride, one small win at a time. And the more you honour those moments, the stronger and more natural your confidence becomes. And it builds like a really strong foundation, because we can all feel really kind of confident and a little bit gung-ho one day and think, oh yeah, we're going to go off and do this, it's going to be amazing. And then another day that might actually worry us. It's a little bit windy, and we had a bit of a dodgy ride last week. But if you build it up really slowly from the ground, then that kind of confidence becomes more unshakable than if you just wing it. So I hope this episode has reminded you that progress doesn't have to be fast to be meaningful, and every calm ride and every moment you stay present, every tiny win you celebrate is building your confidence from the inside out. And remember that moving forward slowly is still moving forward. You're teaching your brain and body that you are safe and capable, and you're growing stronger with every ride. So if you'd love a little extra support with this, don't forget to grab the ride tracker and daily routine. That will be in the show notes. But it's the perfect way to stay consistent and celebrate your small wins and actually see your progress over time. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I really appreciate it. This is actually the end of season 1 of the podcast. Oh my gosh, 25 shows in. But don't worry, there won't, although it's going into season 2, it's more of just like a change in the format than there won't actually be a break between the seasons, because I really like doing this. So, it's just going to be a slightly different format. So after the success of the episode where I had Keris from the Bash Diaries on Instagram chatting to her online, I'm going to be chatting to different horsey guests every other week throughout season 2. And my first guest is an amazing lady called Angie. So experienced, just living the full-on horsey life. She owns Bank Farm Equestrian, which is an amazing... Gosh, I don't know how to describe it because it's not one thing. She's got a riding school and a livery yard, and she also sells horses, and she does horsey holidays, horsey hen do's, which is amazing. So she is going to be my first guest, which will be on next week, which I think is Tuesday the 7th of July. How is it July already? And... so she'll be talking about her horsey journey. I actually recorded the episode this morning, but it'll be live next Tuesday the 7th at 8. So, tune in and listen to what she's got to say. She's amazing. Thank you all for listening, and thank you for supporting season 1. I really, really appreciate it because, like I said, I do really enjoy doing this. So remember to keep showing up for yourselves and your horses, and keep believing in yourself. And I'll see you in the next episode. Take care. Bye.